In the heart of America's fractured streets, where justice wears a badge but hides a blade, imagine a father's rage igniting like wildfire, because tonight, we're diving into a tale that exposes the raw nerve of racism, revenge, and redemption. If you're in the USA or UK, fed up with systemic shadows and craving stories that punch back, hit that subscribe button now for more unfiltered truths that the mainstream won't touch. Your click fuels the fight. The sun dipped low over the cracked asphalt of Elmwood Avenue in downtown Atlanta, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch like accusatory fingers toward the patrol car idling at the curb. Officer Harlan Briggs, a burly man in his mid-40s with a mustache that hid his perpetual sneer, leaned against the hood, his eyes scanning the bustling sidewalk like a hawk eyeing prey. He'd been on the force for 20 years, long enough to let the rot of prejudice seep deep into his bones, turning every routine stop into a power play. Today, his gaze locked on a group of teenagers laughing near a corner store, black kids, as he mentally labeled them, their joy an affront to his worldview. Among them was 16-year-old Maya Thompson, a bright-eyed girl with braided hair adorned in colorful beads, clutching a backpack filled with library books and dreams of becoming a doctor. She was walking home from after-school tutoring, her steps light despite the weight of the world she navigated daily. Harlan straightened up, his hand instinctively resting on his baton, a habit born from too many unchecked impulses. "Hey, you there," he barked, pointing at Maya as if she'd committed a capital offense. The group froze, the laughter dying like a snuffed flame. Maya turned, her brown eyes wide with confusion. "Me, sir," she asked politely, her voice steady from years of her father's teachings. "Stay calm, stay respectful, stay alive." Harlan sauntered over, his boots thudding against the pavement like drumbeats of doom. "What's in the bag, girl?" he demanded, his tone laced with that familiar venom, the kind that dripped from lips curled in disdain for anyone who didn't mirror his pale reflection. Maya unzipped her backpack slowly, revealing textbooks and notebooks. "Just school stuff, officer. I'm heading home." But Harlan wasn't listening, he saw only suspicion where there was innocence. With a grunt, he snatched the bag, dumping its contents onto the sidewalk, pages fluttering like wounded birds. A notebook skidded into the gutter, and Maya reached for it instinctively. "Please, that's my homework," she pleaded. That was her mistake, moving too quickly in his eyes. Harlan's face twisted in rage. "Resisting, huh," he snarled, grabbing her arm and yanking it behind her back with brutal force. Maya cried out as pain shot through her limb, but he didn't stop. He twisted harder, the crack of bone echoing like a gunshot in the quieting street. Her scream pierced the air, drawing gasps from onlookers who pulled out phones but hesitated to intervene, fear a chain around their necks. As Maya crumpled to the ground, clutching her shattered arm, tears streaming down her face, Harlan radioed for backup with a smug satisfaction. "Suspect down, possible narcotics involvement," he lied into the mic, his voice steady as if he'd just ticketed a jaywalker. The crowd murmured, anger bubbling but contained by the invisible walls of systemic terror. Word spread like wildfire through texts and calls. A cop had brutalized a kid, again. But this time, it reached the ears of Marcus Thompson, Maya's father, a man whose name echoed in arenas worldwide. Marcus was a world champion mixed martial artist, a heavyweight legend with fists that had toppled giants and a heart forged in the fires of his own oppressed youth. He was training at a local gym when his phone buzzed with the frantic call from a neighbor. "Marcus, it's Maya, they got her on Elmwood. Cop broke her arm, man. She's hurt bad." The words hit him like a haymaker. He dropped his gloves, his massive frame, 6'4", 250 pounds of sculpted muscle, tensing like a coiled spring. His dark eyes, usually calm and strategic from years in the ring, flashed with a primal fury. He grabbed his keys and bolted, the gym doors slamming behind him as he sped toward the scene, his mind racing through memories of his daughter, her first steps, her laughter, her resilience in a world that tried to break her spirit daily. By the time Marcus arrived, the street was cordoned off with yellow tape, and ambulances' lights flashing red and blue like a mocking disco. Maya lay on a stretcher, her face pale, arm immobilized in a hasty splint, paramedics hovering. Harlan stood nearby, chatting with fellow officers, his back turned as if the girl's agony was just another shift's footnote. Marcus pushed through the crowd, his presence parting them like Moses in the sea. "That's my daughter," he roared, his voice a thunderclap that silenced the murmurs. Harlan turned, his smirk fading as he sized up the approaching colossus. "Sir, this is a police matter. Step back," he warned, hand drifting to his gun. But Marcus wasn't stopping. He knelt beside Maya, his calloused hands gentle as he brushed her hair. "Daddy's here, baby girl. You're gonna be okay." Her eyes fluttered open, pain etched in every line, but she managed a weak smile. "It hurts, Dad. He just grabbed me." Rage boiled in Marcus's veins, but he was no hothead. The ring had taught him control, precision. He stood slowly, facing Harlan. "You did this to a child." His words were low, dangerous, like the rumble before an earthquake. Harlan puffed up, authority his shield. She resisted arrest. Protocol was followed. Lies, Marcus knew, but the crowd's videos were already circulating online, truth a virus spreading fast. As more officers arrived, tensions escalated. One tried to cuff Marcus for interfering, but he shrugged them off like gnats, his fighter's instincts keeping him untouchable without striking first. The twist came when a bystander shouted, "That's Marcus Thompson, the champ." Recognition dawned on the cops' faces, fear mingling with their bravado. Harlan, however, doubled down, drawing his taser. "Back off, or I'll drop you, boy." The slur hung in the air, igniting the powder keg. What Harlan didn't know was Marcus's hidden layer. He wasn't just a fighter, he'd been an undercover advocate, working with civil rights groups to expose corrupt cops. In his truck, parked nearby, was a dashcam rigged for live streaming, capturing everything. As Harlan lunged with the taser, Marcus sidestepped effortlessly, the prongs missing by inches. The crowd erupted, phones aloft. Marcus didn't throw a punch, he didn't need to. Instead, he disarmed Harlan with a swift grapple, pinning him without harm, his voice booming, "This ends now." Backup swarmed, but the videos went viral in minutes, hashtags like #Justice for Maya trending nationwide. The department, under fire, suspended Harlan on the spot. But the deeper twist unfolded in the hospital. Maya's X-rays revealed not just a break, but evidence of prior unreported assaults by Harlan on other kids, scars matching patterns from cold cases Marcus had quietly investigated. Weeks later, in court, Marcus testified, his composure cracking only when describing Maya's pain. Harlan's defense crumbled under the weight of footage and witnesses. But the ultimate reversal, Harlan's own partner turned state's evidence, revealing a ring of racist officers covering each other's tracks. Marcus, using his fame, launched a foundation for police reform, turning personal tragedy into systemic change. Maya healed, her arm in a cast but her spirit unbroken, inspired to fight injustice from the courtroom instead of the ER. Harlan rotted in prison, his power stripped, while Marcus returned to the ring for one last bout, dedicating his victory to his daughter. In the end, the streets of Atlanta whispered a new legend, the champ who didn't just win fights, he won wars against the darkness within the badge. Yet, as peace settled, another layer peeled back. Marcus discovered Harlan wasn't acting alone, a shadowy network of white supremacists had infiltrated the force, using badges as weapons in a quiet war. Digging deeper, with help from anonymous tips, he uncovered emails linking Harlan to online hate groups, planning escalations. One night, as Maya slept safely, Marcus confronted a lead in a dimly lit warehouse, a former chief turned radical. The encounter turned physical, Marcus's skills prevailing, but not without cost. A knife grazed across his ribs, a reminder of vulnerability. He handed the evidence to the FBI, sparking a nationwide purge. But the final twist, Maya, during recovery, hacked into Harlan's old laptop, a skill she'd learned from coding classes, finding videos of his abuses. She leaked them anonymously, igniting protests from coast to coast. Father and daughter, bound by blood and battle, emerged as symbols of resilience. Marcus retired his gloves, focusing on advocacy, while Maya pursued law, her broken arm a badge of honor. The story rippled across the USA and UK, a cautionary epic of how one man's fury could dismantle empires of hate, proving that sometimes, the greatest knockout comes not from fists, but from unyielding truth. The narrative expanded. Years prior, Marcus had lost his wife to a similar incident, a traffic stop gone wrong, ruled accidental, but reeking of cover-up. That ghost haunted him, fueling his double life. Harlan, it turned out, was the rookie cop on scene that day, a connection unearthed in dusty files. Vengeance tempted Marcus, but he chose justice, testifying against the network that claimed his love. Maya, unaware at first, pieced it together, her bond with her father deepening. In a poignant scene, they visited the grave, vowing to honor her memory. The media frenzy peaked with a documentary, exposing the rot, leading to reforms, body cams mandatory, bias training revamped. But shadows lingered. Harlan, from prison, plotted revenge through proxies, sending threats. Marcus thwarted an assassination attempt at a rally, his reflexes saving lives. The climax, a public debate where Marcus faced Harlan's brother, a politician denying systemic racism. Words became weapons, Marcus's eloquence dismantling lies, swaying public opinion. UK audiences, drawing parallels to their own struggles, amplified the story online. Maya, now 18, spoke at the UN, her voice a beacon. The tale closed on hope. Father and daughter, arm in arm, watching the sunset, knowing their fight had just begun.